All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
I'm Shane.
And I am contemplating retirement from this show.
Oh,
Just kidding.
no.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Dropping a bomb on us here. Shane and I would go down hard.
Sounds like a
Anyway,
different type of video show. Anyway.
Hey, keep it PG. So we're talking about Aaron Rodgers tonight.
Boo. Oh, sorry.
So we're going to try to keep it, we're going to try to make it actionable as opposed to talking about, too much salary cap stuff. What are we going to do in the next couple months here? If you want to take a gamble and try to buy them, or if you own them and you're scared and you want to sell them, we're going to try to talk about that kind of stuff and values, trades around that. So Scott, you are up, my friend. Before you retire, one last time, you go first.
Yeah, I think I'll probably hang around for at least another season of Dynasty Trades in 5. But with Aaron Rodgers, unexpected departure from the playoffs. And now, you look at DLF's ADP, he was at quarterback 10. Anybody that now is trying to figure out what to do with Rodgers, they don't feel he's worth quarterback 10. It's nowhere close. There's now really a black cloud over his head going, is he going to play again? There's a chance that he retires. There's a chance he gets traded, that he's on another team. I guess there's still an outside chance that he comes back to Green Bay, even though it seems like all the tea leaves, the vibe around everything just feels like last night was the end. We're recording this the day after they got knocked out. So, you're looking at the ADP and it's like Russell Wilson or Rodgers, Wilson, Fields or Rodgers, Fields, Lawrence, Watson, probably honestly Stafford easily over at this point over Rodgers, given what we've seen from him. So that pushes him down like not a top 15 dynasty quarterback. So the question becomes like, how far down do you go? Is it Zach Wilson over Aaron Rodgers? And that looked egregious like 2 months ago, but now you're going like, if there's even a chance he retires, I'm not sure I want this. Is he one of these guys that's going to play into his 40s? Maybe, but there's a chance that he doesn't. So I think that's the question. Like, are you scared over the next month? I'm tempted to be on the play it safe, especially when I can still reasonably pivot within this range, add to him to get any of those guys I mentioned, right? Anybody else volatile, maybe you go after Russell Wilson and try to paint the picture to somebody that, hey, they're just as risky, one or the other. I'd much rather have Wilson. I think he's got another couple years left easily. Same with Stafford. So I think you either add or you get out for a lower cost, single first, top 6, 7 pick in this year's draft. I know we kind of said that's like the cutoff line, but if I can get that and take my shot at another quarterback, Zach Wilson, same thing. So I think you have to play the volatility with the other guys in the tier. Worst comes to worst, Aaron Rodgers for a 2023 first, regardless of the scarcity, I think you have to consider it.
Consider it. I don't even think anyone's going to offer you a 2023 first. If they do, you need to accept it immediately. And then when they try to revoke it, say, no, sorry, no takebacks. 12-10 record in the playoffs, by the way. He's got a 545 win percentage, third worst of anyone with that many games in the playoffs. Good job, Aaron. I don't know what to do with him either. Like, that's why I'm scared and I'm willing to sell, because I don't know that he wants to come back. And obviously it's right after the game and obviously he's disappointed, but he just didn't sound like a guy that wants to keep playing football last night. He is a diva. He loves the spotlight. I think he would love the drama of moving to a new team and bringing Devontae Adams with him and taking them to a Super Bowl. But you can't guess what's in another man's head. If you offer me any first, he's probably yours. 109 and earlier in 2022, and literally any 2023 first in 16 team leagues.
Would you guys buy if you he might be very cheap. No. And we talked on with Watson's show, like we have time to be able to take risks and be able to pivot if need be. If you had the 111 or 112 in 2022, you wouldn't throw that at Aaron Rodgers. See what happens.
112, 111. Yeah, I could part with that. I can live with moving that for him. Because if he does come back next year, the thing about him is he's a QB1. For as bad as he is in the playoffs, and he's terrible, he is an absolute joke, and he's not one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. In the regular season, quarterback one all the time. So, yeah.
Well, think of it this way, too. If you give up the 111 for him, right, and then a couple months from now he is on the Denver Broncos, what could you turn around and flip him for? Like you can cash out. Look, it's a risky bet, but what do you think, Scott? Would you give 111, 112 2022 for him?
Yeah, and I think your target here is leagues where there is some quarterback scarcity too. Like I'm not in a rush to go buy him in a 12-team league unless the scoring is just like hyper inflated to where, you know, I can get a quarterback that is going to give me an above replacement advantage for a late first. But I think you hit the nail on the head. The thing is, if the big risk is that he just retires and he doesn't play or he takes a year off. Remember, we heard those rumors last year that he swirled around that he may take a year off. Now, does that mean he's never going to come back? Who knows? But I think the positive is if he moves on, it's going to be to a place where it's something that he wants to go to. You know what I mean? He's going to be motivated if he goes somewhere else. He's going to be there for a couple years probably. And it's probably going to be a situation where is he going to go somewhere where he has some influence on the coach, he has some influence on the weapons. That I think that's the risk. Like you're right. If he ends up playing football, then it's probably going to be in a situation that's going to be just as good or better from a fantasy perspective than Green Bay. So I think you have to look and see if there's a range and you can get him in a league where there's got to be some quarterback scarcity. That's the thing, right? If he's just, I don't want to say he's a quarterback too. From a value perspective, he is. From a production perspective, he's not. I don't really want to chase quarterbacks like in his range and pay a premium or pay anything where I could maybe potentially turn it into a better player or a 2023 first. So there is that fine line. I think late first, mid to late first and 22 would be the target. I really don't want to get into the 23s at all. Think what you have to do. You got to go to the other quarterbacks that are above Rodgers and take the risk there. Watson, Fields, Russell Wilson. You're not getting up to Lamar, Herbert. Like somebody's going to laugh at you and go, okay, well, I'm going to pay you. Basically, they're going to want 98% of the value of that guy. Okay, I'll take Rodgers back. Sure, you can throw him in. But that's not how you really want to sell him. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I want 4 firsts for Herbert. Okay, you can throw in Rodgers. That's not the kind of deal I really want to throw in Rodgers in. You know, I'd rather just try to tier up to some other risk. That's why I would say Watson and Wilson and Fields are probably the 3 targets.
Take Russell Wilson all day over Rodgers. I would take Fields all day over Rodgers. I mean, at this point, Rodgers scares me enough that, you know, I think that the upside could be, or the downside is that he retires. I don't want to give up a viable fantasy asset for that. A 111, 112, I think I'm fine. I can live without that. I can't live without the upside of Justin Fields. And Russell Wilson, I know I could flip him to other people in my league because apparently for some reason people like him.
Well, what would you rather have, Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers in the 105?
I bet you I could flip that. I bet you. I'm going to stay with Fields. I'm going to stay with Fields.
Yeah, that's a costly flip up, but that's exactly the type of deal that I'm talking about. You know, it hurts losing that 105, but if you're looking at your quarterbacks and you're going, I'm not really sure here, I could live with doing that. I could live with that, taking the field side.
Okay, would you rather have Stafford or Aaron Rodgers and the 110?
I think I'll go Aaron Rodgers in the 110. I don't know that Stafford's elite, so that's why it's not really that. I don't need to make that move.
Yeah, I think that's the type of deal that you actually buy Rodgers with, because Stafford's right on that cut line where I'm pretty sure that if Rodgers and Stafford play year to year together, I have a really good shot of getting the better quarterback. So then it just becomes, what's my confidence in that 110? What's my format? Who's in my league? But that could be a huge deal. If you swing that and then you have the extra first, and then somehow you can maneuver that first to get maybe a 23 first or another starter. Now you're really cooking because you had a really strong 2-for-1 there and you probably got the better quarterback.